Alright folks, we're back. Heart Revenge says cast some Whelmu please. Whelmu's bracket unfortunately doesn't look like it's going to accommodate that, otherwise I would absolutely be on that. He fights either Eagle or Demager, but we don't know either of those players or how long they'll take. But I think in the round following it might be more likely actually. We're still trying to get into ZhuGeLiang versus BratOK. It's not been confirmed yet. Zanster might have an opponent afterwards too as a decent plan B. But I'm not sure where we missed on these subs, so I'm just going to kind of shotgun this to be safe. X-Mayhem Monday, X, new sub, hype. Same with Shake Your Booty. Although, Chic, yeah, I love the way you phrased that. Good job. Worf PL for 6 months, and then just now, Pone You Good has subscribed to the channel. Thank you all for being absolutely awesome. And if you're using Twitch Prime, even better. But of course, regular subscribers are just as good. Resubs better than that, etc., etc. Why you throwing me under the bus like this?
Is there proper hosting credit? One day I'm gonna put host on my resume and they're gonna be like, oh, she hosted things? I'll be like, yeah, lobbies.
Yeah. Okay, so we got TvP in here. We got BratOK versus ZhuGeLiang, and it's gonna be a TVZ. BratOK has come back to the game, I want to say 3 months ago, at least in terms of seeing him in tournaments. It's 2 to 3 months-ish, at least that we've been seeing him. But, of course, it used to be a really, really big deal back in, I want to say, like, early Heart of the Swarm, Wings of Liberty times. And I guess we're just
yes.
Wait on one more person then. Who's this now? New Bell just subbed for 33 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Again, I would like to thank New Bell, but also remind everybody, Twitch Prime does not auto-renew. It is a free sub, which is awesome, and there's no downside to that. But it is worth noting that it doesn't auto-renew. So if you've got something like a 33 month streak, there you go, that's the word, going, make sure that next month you remember to renew, otherwise you're going to break that streak. But okay, King Sejong Station. TVC kicks off here for the Home Story Cup 14 qualifiers. Thank you to TvP for letting us help cast said qualifiers. Bottom right side of the map, though, we got the orange Zerg player, ZhuGeLiang.
In the top left, as the red Terran, he is BratOK. BratOK.
Also just going to note that this is one of the players who has one of those names that people will be upset we don't pronounce the way they think it's pronounced. I've heard so many different, put emphasis on the G, make it sound like a J. ZhuGeLiang. Make sure you say ZergLing, but lazy, so ZhuGeLiang. I'm just going to say it the way I'm most comfortable. You guys will know who I'm talking about. If you guys have discrepancy with how it's said, just too fucking bad, excuse me. There's too many times. This guy in Sake, I just sit there and every time we cast him, I'm like, someone's going to get upset about this.
Can we just make a section on the BaseTradeTV site where it's called Complaint Center, and we'll just tell everyone to go to the Complaint Center and make a report, right? And it'll just be this really dumb image of nothing, right? Just something really stupid. Can we just do that? Because I feel like you're right. I remember many times we've had people try and pronounce tell us to pronounce it correctly. A, you guys are sucky at the whole pronunciation guides, and B, there are a couple of names where everyone thinks that their way is correct. Legitimately, I thought that the person who said, say, ZergLing, lazy, actually knew, but I don't think he did.
We had actually a very funny discussion in our hotel room that kind of relates back to this, where I get upset that no one really says my name correctly, right? My name's Graham, and for those that can hear the difference, most people call me Graham, or Graham, or they just don't say my name correctly. And Zomber brought up the point where well, how do you know that you're saying it correctly? Well, it makes your way right. And of course, to me, my initial thought is, well, it's my name. I get to choose how it's pronounced. But then it occurred to me that if my name is pronounced in such a way that no one can say it, maybe we should change the way it's pronounced. And that kind of applies back here to the players a little bit, right? Sake's name is one of those ones where you'll hear many different people tell you to pronounce it many different ways. But at the end of the day, I think, if everyone's calling you a donkey, you're probably a donkey. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. It's donkey.
Donkey. Soke.
Is that how you say soke? Donkey.
It's like donkey with an S.
Amazing.
Alright, Reaper's dancing around a little bit. Kind of annoying. So I guess to give these guys a bit of proper prowess too, I just mentioned that they've been playing and that recently. BratOK seriously was one of the top Terrans for a long time. Thinking back to when he was on Empire, you had like the Acer Team Story Cups run by TvP. Like he was one of the like ace players for that team regularly amongst Happy and Koss. ZhuGeLiang, okay, he hasn't nearly as much like notability in terms of like cool, awesome tournaments or getting successful things here and there, but he's played consistently in the round of 8s and onwards for almost every tournament we've ever seen him in. So he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of summarizes him pretty perfectly. It's like he's a good player, but he's not winning anything yet. I mean, I think of like where he is in comparison to Namshar, who is someone that I'm looking on the bracket.
Who's grown a
Constantly.
lot this year. He has come a long
Yeah,
way.
he's certainly grown a lot, but he is like they both shared the whole like, well, they're not really making round of 8 too much. Okay, now they're making round of 8, so maybe in a year from now, ZhuGeLiang will be making round of 4 and actually even winning a couple of tournaments. But a Home Story Cup qualifier would be quite prestigious to be like the tournament the qualifier that you win. And I guess prestigious is the wrong word. My bad. It is prestigious. There's actually a lot of good players here, and if you do well at the actual event, that's pretty damn baller because there's going to be a lot of really good invites. But it is, I think, popular. Like, I would pay more attention to who got into Home Story Cup because this is a fun events and silly events, and hopefully they show their personality on stream, than if they qualified for DreamHack and I didn't really know who they were. I'd just be like, oh, they're going to get knocked out in the round of 16.
Well, let's shift away the back door, looking for another way to open this up and possibly run around the map. We'll see which direction he goes. As the Roach Horn comes down, it's still too early to really say, like, oh my god, he's looking to do the Roach Ravager style, or if he's looking to invest in Banelings and ZhuGeLiangs or Broodlords later on. We do have double Evos come down regardless, and we'll see what direction he goes with this shortly. I think the faster layer, though, I'm so wary now with the way some Zerg play this game, where you just go really fast to Hive. Like, okay, getting Ultras out sometimes that fast can be cool, and like 9 minutes is a scary timing for Hive to finish, but I'm not a fan of like people who just straight rush to Hive. There has to be some mid-game play.
It's a pretty old style, and one that I feel doesn't work on the top tier Terrans, but I do think still works on like the middle Terrans, I guess, the ones we're seeing in qualifiers. So I think it's something that BratOK would have to be pretty cautious of. But we don't know if ZhuGeLiang's trying to play that way. He's only going for the 1 upgrade? Does he only have 1 boost cheaper? Oh, no, he doesn't. But, okay. We'll see. He might just stick with the 1 upgrade for now and then go into 2-1 later type deal. We'll see. But it's BratOK not doing too much with this drop yet. He did go to the back, which was a little bit questionable. There is some strategic thought to that. Like, if you clean up the back creep tumors, then you can push the 4th base later. But I think more often we see them try and drop here and then get on top of the queens.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're coming through this side really, usually with a tank or something, or a bunker being brought with it, or something strange. Just to go with the double medevacs like this, really not. I mean, it's not being wasted, but it's also not accomplishing anything right now either. ZhuGeLiang quick to respond to some queens as well, just doesn't even want to give up the creep, I guess. Back at home, I want to say almost a little bit of bait with the way that Widowmine have been in position with the depots, but kind of cool to see nonetheless. Terran upgrades, gonna have combat shields soon. He did get that stim done really quick, so his Marines will be capable of fighting, but they won't have 1-1 or anything like that. That'll be on ZhuGeLiang actually in his favor, ideally.
Well, BratOK, you're gonna try and keep pushing this back. What would be the 4th base eventually, I suppose. But ZhuGeLiang not really feeling that pressure to take it. He doesn't have to. Like, the Roaches, especially if they live, they have to have +1 carapace trying to finish up here. They'll kind of just be okay on 3 bases, 55 drones, for quite a while, in fact. In fact, you could technically get to Hive on 3 bases, but that's usually no big deal. BratOK actually rushing in here. He does have combat shields, and the medevacs aren't being target fired, is a big deal. He's not taking a bad trade at all.
If the medevacs were pushed away, I think pushing back the Marines is better, but this is probably game over at this rate. The amount of Roaches just can't contest this. I mean, this upgrade's finished soon, but it's for melee, not for range, so there's no ZerGlings out to benefit from this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if +1 cameras had been done during the fight, that would have really helped.
Oh, just killed us on medevac. Feels bad.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. But it wouldn't have been, but at the very least, the Queen's to the target fire the 1 low medevac.
Well,
BratOK gonna clean this up, but after losing so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has to give up some of that momentum he just gained, but with a rally across the map, just regather his marbles over here. and go back in for round 2. The Widowmine, of course, has no detection for it, so it might just get another shot off at this rate. Spore Claw should be killed relatively easily, too. Widowmine does get another shot off before dying, so a lot of these roaches got splashed.
Yeah, that's gonna help tear him down. As he said, the armor upgrade helping here, but the Ling upgrade, okay, finally he's making some Lings to help out even a little bit. They can just surround and hold them in place. They can do pretty well. BratOK is running out of energy straight up on his Medivacs, so it's almost like as if they died. But he's rallying. Like, you don't get usually a chance to do this when you're going pure bio, I would say. Just being able to rally across King Sejong Station. Usually the Zerg player is holding, and then, you know, swamps you and either win or lose, do or die right then. But it's still a bit of a tug of war. Just one that I think ZhuGeLiang's gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm on that same side. I do want to point out though that he did go like 6 to 8 Medivacs deep this game before going to Liberators, and I don't think that's a bad choice at all. In fact, the problem with this game is that because there's Ravagers, Liberators are a little bit harder to justify. So it's nice seeing a higher Medivac count for once, considering usually it comes down to 2 that are out of energy, it feels like, at this point.
Oh, gets the queen before the Medivac dies. That's nice. Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, it continues to... This is forcing ZhuGeLiang to split his forces, though. Well, it's a minor amount of roaches, sure, that are splitting. It's still roaches that aren't here on the front line. Finally, some Marauders added into this mix. 1-1's done now for BratOK, or will be here in about 10 seconds. He's got the weapon upgrade, which probably matters more in this instance. The armor, not such a big deal if he's fighting roaches, but a lot bigger of a deal if he's fighting Lings.
Well, I would like to have seen some tanks being produced now, after you realize that it's going to be, you know, basically all roaches, and a couple of infestors, which he hasn't seen yet, but just rushes in.
Yeah, Grossabow's get hits on the back line, but it's not going to matter, because right now the Marines and the Marauders just tear through all the roaches that were here. The only thing remaining is death. GG. BratOK takes the game.
That was certainly not what was supposed to happen for the Zerg player side of things. No. Usually the Terran does not, like, I want to like make something clear, I suppose. Usually the Terran player is just, they look at it, they see enough roaches, enough queens, they don't take the fight, regardless if you would think like, oh, maybe they could have. So that in itself is usually what the Zerg depends on, just kind of being scary enough with enough units. And for BratOK to do that could have backfired drastically. What if there's 10 more roaches and the queens did target fire as Medivacs?
Well, that's...
But it worked.
Yeah, I guess... so getting into the next game, do we know what the map's going to be?
It's Frozen Temple and then Frost.
Awesome. All right, was this Pwn You Good donated $3 a little while back. Sorry, we got so caught up in the game. Pwn You Good, if you're still in the audience, please know that I love you. Sorry for getting this so late. He says, love the channel. Had to sub so I can watch VODs while I'm at work, but worth it. Was watching ESL SC2 reruns when I got hyped, and you guys got a shout out. Odd shotted it for you. Oh, normally I hate odd shots, but I will take a look at this. Or take a listen.
These two, actually, they played about a month ago in the BaseTradeTV Ting Open. And back then he was Euthermal. He went up 2-0. He laser
referencing Ting Open. Very nice. Aquanuts resubbed for 25 months. They said, bow before me, plebs. Zipsurium resubbed for 18 months. Lemons TV resubbed for 9 months. I should file for child support. No, don't do that. Remember that giant subtrain during which this subscription streak was conceived? I remember. Hearts, keep doing your thing, guys. Use good people. Dude, I do remember that. I'll never forget that. Are you kidding me? We got like 400 subs that day. I was also gonna, like, the peak of our ever, like, we're never gonna beat that, which feels really fucking bad, man. Man, I'm swearing a lot today. I don't know why. I gotta cut that out. Thank you to Sassy 000 as well for the new sub, heading up right there at the end of the game. Super big love, and thank you for your support, guys. As we hop into the game, map number 2, spawning in the bottom right side of the map. He's currently down 1 game. It's the orange Zerg, ZhuGeLiang.
In the top left, as the red Terran, he is BratOK.
I've made such a conscious effort over the last year to replace a lot of my swear words, right? And not because, like, I necessarily hate swearing, but it's more funny, I feel. Like, to hear somebody say bull shrimp instead of bull, you know, whatever the regular form it is. But I don't know why. Like, something about today is, like, the floodgate got open, and I keep swearing, and I'm not intending to. Shut the front door, Rifkin.
You swore so much at BlizzCon, you just can't get rid of the habit.
There it is. Yeah, Zombie Girl brings that out of me in real life, guys. It's just so many things that require swearing.
Exactly. I don't even remember you swearing at all at BlizzCon,
Oh my
but
God,
I'm sure that's the
face
reason.
masks. If you guys did not see
So
this,
good.
we need someone to get, like, one of the mods or somebody subbed to the channel that can post links without them getting timed out. You need to go through our Zombie Grub's Twitter feed right now, or Oli Moly's, and find the picture of Zombie Grub in the Puss in Boots face mask. Some of you are gonna hear this and think like some sort of cardboard cutout mask. No, that's not what this is at all. And it's so much better.
I really think the Shrek one was better.
I do too, but
And a mustache.
I'm not sure as many people will know Annie here on BaseTradeTV Zombie Grub.
You don't have to know the person, you just have to see it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have 3 barracks being built, and a lot of Reapers coming out of BratOK. How do you think this is going to go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, ZhuGeLiang already anticipated this. He got the early pool, sent a couple links to the side just to, just in case it wasn't multiple Reapers, he could at least get the SCV that was in the command center. Or maybe if the Spidey goes down, he could get in, that type of deal. But the point is, he got the pool first, he got the Queen coming out already, Roach Warren already coming out. Like, he knows. He's preparing for it. And even if it wasn't the 3-racked Reaper, he would still be able to probably at least apply a pressure with the Roaches. It's all up to, his micro now. Both of their micro, I suppose. What can BratOK do with 3 racks, and what can ZhuGeLiang do with the Roaches?
The Roaches are never really the answer. And in a lot of cases, it's the Ravagers that matter more, but watching Lily Canine and a couple others who really, I will say, over-dedicate to the Reapers have proven that sometimes you can make it work, even when you've got something like Ravagers working against you, as long as you can find that opening and take advantage of it, right? Not just gonna sit there with 20 Reapers doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, the tricky part about Frozen Temple in particular, and why it is probably the best Reaper map, the other Reaper maps being Galactic Process and kind of Frost in a way.
Oh,
but
what?
What?
Sorry, go on. I didn't realize what he was prioritizing here.
Oh, that is interesting. But anyways, well, it's also interesting that he's not only prioritizing Marauder slow, but also he stopped building Reapers so quickly. I mean, I realize that the Roaches are already out, and it's probably better that he did stop making Reapers, but I was going to go on to how Frozen Temple, the dynamic on the ramp is usually so harsh for the Zerg players. They have to be both prepared for the high ground and the low ground, but if they're on the ramp, the grenades are like 10 times more effective.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because there wasn't enough Reapers.
No, because he had cut his production and gone to Marauders really quickly, which is so weird. On one hand, the concussive shells, for those who don't know, like, he prioritized concussive shells here specifically, which I thought was interesting. It's going to slow the Ravagers down and let the Reapers catch them, let the Marines catch them, and actually fight. But this kind of feels like for BratOK that he went with this really dedicated opening, and rather than dedicate to it enough to get the damage done to make it worthwhile, he decided to bail early and try and get the CC and stuff going. This has left him considerably far behind in the worker count, and the second command star is only just finished. If ZhuGeLiang had kept making Roaches and kept making Ravagers and overreacting to this, okay, maybe BratOK would actually be ahead. But I feel like with the fact that he started droning, he's got his 3rd base coming down, he played this pretty calm and collected.
I would say that usually the Terran, straight up, and that's a lot because we see a lot of really good Terrans, okay? Yes, the mask is amazing. But it's because we see a lot of good Terrans. Usually they only lose, or are losing because they mess up the Reaper micro. If they are very careful with their Reapers and do like moderate amount of damage, usually they just have a lead straight up because the 3rd is so late and they've had to build drones, or not build drones, they've had to build Roaches. But BratOK, I mean, his plan, I guess, wasn't to deal some damage and then get ahead economically. It was to have this follow-up push, which is very odd. ZhuGeLiang, he's really not thinking about making units because there's 5 Reapers. Like, why would I need to bother about that? But I don't even know if he has to make units. Like, this is non-stimmable army here. No medevacs to help out either. Just make a couple more Roaches, and I think you'll be okay.
Well, that's where the concussive shells get really interesting, right? Like, if your Marines can't move fast enough to chase something down, but the Marauders can hold them in place with a slow, it kind of works. It's odd to see, and we've not seen anyone do it like this before, but job's getting done.
They're almost with Stim too, by the way, and Medivacs can boost over here pretty quickly in Frozen Temple. And if this army's still alive and then they get everything else along with it, then it probably is game over.
Right.
I think it's a case where it's funny that Lings probably would have been a lot more effective just getting us around on this small army.
Well, there's, again, cause and effect. Like, would there have been Marauders if there were Lings in the first place? Unlikely, right? Maybe just continue to go with more and more Reapers. Either way, the 2 Reapers that did get to the main did quite a bit, no less. The Marauders, of course, getting healed up now by the Medivacs. They can take hits from the Queens. The Queens can also take hits from them, as we can see. It's the Roaches that are going to matter the most as he sims over to the side. There's a lot of Roaches that just spawn, and BratOK's got to recollect himself. I think fighting the front lines like this is not a bad choice, but he won't trade out the way he wants to.
Yeah. His units were already getting pretty low just from the stims, and if they were all healthy, he'd probably be picking up Roaches even still. But BratOK did cancel the 3rd base. So while usually that is just heavily delayed because the Reapers, I guess in a way it's the same thing. They just got canceled. And now he has Medivacs to just send around his drops. It's a weirder way to follow up to the 3 racks, but it is not a bad way so far. Like, I was worried initially it would be pretty bad, but
yeah,
it's fine. He's only down 7 workers.
I actually quite
totally
like.
normal.
I really like the way that the Concussor Shells played its role in this game. I don't know that it was the priority or that this is a build you're going to start seeing become more and more common, but it was cool to see.
Yeah. I'd say I really thought he was doing that because of the recent rise of Roach Ravager counterattacks.
What is this?
I don't know what this is doing. Is it a fake? Maybe. Is it a scout? Who knows?
I feel like it's got to be a scout, because like if this was a fake, it'd be so much better off with the army. But looks like it was a good bait, though. ZhuGeLiang sends a lot of Lings back to the main, and now the main force pushes in, so maybe it was purposely just that, and if it was, it worked out magnificently. Ling's now falling back down the ramp. He managed to get quite far into creep without any resistance, cleaning up some things along the way, but looks like the Roaches and the Lings are going to be able to start pushing his back. Not enough to completely stop BratOK, but that was a real nice catch.
Yeah, it was. This actually still might be game. For example, not very long.
With the Liberator,
map
maybe,
yeah. Looks like the Queen. I gotta be careful.
There's no Ravagers for this.
Go back into the zone. It doesn't have that high of a DPS, alright? Like, it's not that great, but just collect again. Definitely needs to take care of his 3rd base, I would say, because his orbital's finishing up now, and BratOK is unfortunately still with creep at his 3rd. But ZhuGeLiang has not been able to use his 3rd base, so again, while that game didn't end, the game didn't end right there, with the army just dying. That's why BratOK is just getting further and further ahead. Now he's only down 2 SCVs, which means in reality he's ahead, of course, with mules. And I like that he's getting tanks this game too. He's drastically behind on upgrades, and that is the biggest deal right now.
Yeah, oh wow, it's going to be 2-2. Well, he's not even on 1-1. That's going to suck when it comes to direct army engagements, but it's still not going to be too big of a problem for BratOK running around and picking up mineral lines, for example, but not exactly a lot of that. There's been a lot of focus on the actual fights so far this game.
Yeah. Well, the Infestors will change that up. Infestors will start to deter BratOK from doing these drops. And, you know, usually the answer to that, like, I can't drop because I'll just collect myself and do a big push with terrible upgrades might not work out so well.
So some SCVs died transferring over on the other side of the map. Some Lings managed to run over here, and that Overlord, of course, blocking out with creep. Such a nuisance.
As long as Brad doesn't take a devastating fungal to the medevac army, I think he'll have a good enough push. He'll only be down 1 set of upgrades. ZhuGeLiang's not really reaching towards that hive quite yet, and even if he did, that's a very long upgrade to wait for, 3-3, plus whatever else he wants to get. So BratOK has a good economy, a better economy now for sure, with like a straight up more. Oh, and I made a BaseTradeTV graphs. Damn.
You did. Because I just opened the graphs mod too.
Made the last one with Game Heart. Okay, well. Anyways, it's all.
For those who don't know, our graphs got broken when they implemented the WCS ones. We still have not found a proper fix.
Yeah.
So apologies.
Actually, I'm trying to read it right now, but orange and red look the same.
I think it's just orange on the overlay.
On the WCS one? But it goes over the 0 both ways.
It looks just all one orange color to me. Anyways, fungal growth catch a lot of the Marines. The medevacs actually aren't the ones being targeted though for the growth of bile. It was the bio, and I feel like killing the medevacs is always more important than the Marines.
Sure, but that was still a very terrible trade for BratOK. That was not the push he was hoping for. Like
No.
more tanks, and of course not being fungled like he was would have been a lot better. Of course loses his third base too. Only lost 7 SCVs to the 7 drones, but I think losing a lot of momentum. Of course having to pull back, doesn't even bring his tank back with him. And BratOK, I mean, he was getting an okay lead here. I mean, he still has more workers, so many more workers, but his army just took a huge dip.
Yeah, and it was actually almost, I believe, double for a moment there for ZhuGeLiang, but with so many Ravagers being made, the question is like, just how effective is this going to be? Because these guys eat up a lot of supply, each one of them. So this army's not nearly as big as it looks on the numbers pad because, again, Ravagers take up a lot of supply. Back at home, though, I mean, with the Hive on the way, we may see this move towards Ultras, but for the time being, those Ravagers, I feel like bringing them across the map's almost too dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think he can attack. It's generally not great to attack into the Terran.
Oh.
You assume they have tanks.
ZhuGeLiang had a health bar timer and died.
Oh. Oh.
It's been a while since we've seen that.
Well. ZhuGeLiang finally remade some of the drones they desperately needed. Going on to a 4th base, he probably wants more than 46 now too. You know, only on 3 bases, but really 2 mining. I guess it was okay for a while. But he's also losing out on that huge upgrade that he had. BratOK on his way to 221 and getting that tank count back up. Will have a pretty solid, you know, pre-Ultralisk push. I don't know if it's going to be game ending though.
I mean, it is at least a way for him to fight if he gets there. Because right now, with the way it's been going, like, okay, BratOK was taking bad engagements when he was down in supply. Now he's not. He's actually catching up in supply pretty nicely. And that means that it's no longer going to be a walk in the park for ZhuGeLiang like it has been up to this point. Let's also not forget that a lot of what BratOK's been doing has been denied back at home. Partially because of these Lings running around, but just, again, partially he was like a little bit slower to take his 3rd in general. Upgrades are still going to be trailing off for quite a bit too. It's going to be really disgusting if... I'm glad Armor's finally finishing up, because if ZhuGeLiang was on like 3-3 while BratOK was only just starting up 2, I would be like, okay, that's really not good.
That's pretty bad, yeah. But not the case. Zerg player going for the Carapace and Adrenal Glands first, holding off on the Ultralisk Cavern, which I still assume is going to come down. If it was going to be Broodlords, Aspire ideally comes with the Hive, and then of course, I don't think there's as much emphasis on getting the Carapace upgrade if you're going to go for Broodlords. BratOK's going to move through the middle of the map. Not too much creep to clean up. He does see where the army is. Okay, high army is moving here.
Nice catch on that one medevac on the bottom side. No fungals used or required. But yeah, the push through the middle of the map will find ZhuGeLiang a little bit out of position.
I don't know about
so
this,
many overlords, yeah.
Well, yeah, the overlords. I was going to say BratOK, instead of utilizing the ledge, just went to a place where he could be very easily surrounded and concaved on.
That's kind of what's happening too. The fungal growths land on top of the tanks. Corsair Bile's going to land too, trying to get the hits that they can. Attacking the south side, though, might just kill the hatchery. I'm not sure if it would be worth losing the whole army for. Liberators are set up perhaps just a little bit late, but it is worth noting that BratOK's the one that's ahead in supply, despite how messy this is going.
I think there was, you know, too many Ravagers, and there wasn't really a surround. Even though he was, like, totally in danger, it was still just mostly the Ravagers and Lings coming from one direction and not killing the tanks that quickly. And it's going to be 2-0, I think. BratOK up 30 supply, killed the 4th base, killed 26 more drones.
Yeah, and of course he's still in the main. The tank's not been dealt with just yet. This has been really chaotic for ZhuGeLiang, who was so close to hitting his stride, by the way, with Hive Tech. Regardless,
Yeah,
that
close.
medevac is going to try to escape.
Hey, man, so Queen, man. It's totally going to get out of there. I guess ZhuGeLiang was starting to bank a lot of gas, so it's just investing into Infestors, which definitely not bad. Can definitely bring you back into a game, but you do need that Ravager combination.
Well, I don't think he has pathogen glands, does he? No, so these infestors going to
No.
pop and not be able to do anything. And time is certainly of the essence.
Brad just ready for push number 2. Scan, sees Infestors without enough energy. I think he sniped that one.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be BratOK's game, it looks like, with so much supply, medevac's uncontested. I mean, there's been very little to no Liberator use this entire series, and that alone says a lot to me. Yeah, the Pestilence came out, but the Infestors got prioritized and focused. Nice splits at the last second to dodge the Corrosive Biles. That's it, though. GG. Series is going to go to BratOK 2-0. All right, we got to get caught up on some thank yous to Das Tier for the 9-month resub. Says Twitch baby, happy PogChamp. And Diminch hit us up for 18 months. He says, make your bed, Zombie Grub.
No.
And you can't make me.
You can't make me.
All right, well, we're going to be advancing into, I think, the round of 16, or is that the round of 8? These brackets are actually so big, it's hard to tell. I think it's round of 16.
Oh. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Lomu does advance, but he's going to be waiting a little bit of time on Insane or Star by the looks of it. And he seems to be the only one other than this. And Verdi actually in the south side of the bracket as well. Man, this bracket is huge. Scrolling through it is a pain. Make sure to type ! brackets and look for yourselves, guys. There's a lot of matches going on. We're going to take a little bit of a longer break for this one. I have to go take care of some stuff, and I'm sure Zombie wouldn't mind the quick rest anyways. So we'll see you guys in a few. Thanks for watching. I'll put some music on, and we'll see you shortly.